Good morning. Just a couple minutes late, but those who watch it later won't know the difference. Just those who watch it live, right? I hope you're having a great morning. Hope you're having a good week. Goodness, this week has kind of flown by a little fast. It's already Wednesday. I'm not sure what happened. I got quite a bit of work done yesterday. Maybe I got lost in all of it, right? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you are having a great week so far. So let's just dive in this morning. I got up early and then actually I got up. Chris kept me up some last night. He was coughing a little bit, not anything major. But I got up and took care of him, got my coffee, and went back and read and studied and had just a really good time. And then I just went back to sleep. Got crashed. Of course, when you get up at 4:30 or 5, that's okay. So I've already had a nap. That's how long I've been up already. So anyway, let's not do that anymore, okay? Anyway, but I hope you're having a better day than that. I hope you already had a nap if you need one. I don't know. Maybe you needed one, right? I don't know. Anyway, so this morning I was actually thinking this morning as I was preparing after I did my own reading, and I started thinking, what am I going to talk about this morning for devotion? Because I want to come prepared, even though I don't really know what I'm going to say most of the time, but I kind of know where I want to go with it. And I do the same with my devotions for caregivers. Is I kind of have an idea of where to start and what I want to do with it, right? And so um, I was thinking about several different scriptures, and actually I was thinking about what I talked about yesterday about just how it's not just a button. We don't just push a button and go, you know, okay, I've got God's peace, and I never have to worry about it again. It just doesn't happen, right? Salvation is pretty much that way. Once you get saved, you've done it. You've made that commitment. You've made that decision. Then you still have to grow in it. You're not done, but you don't go back and do that over and over again. But sometimes with some things, it's a constant struggle. That's why Paul said, "I've fought a good fight, the fight of faith." Right? We fight to keep faith. We fight to keep peace. We fight to keep joy. But they're given. But it's not just a button, right? That we can just always be in it perfectly like we want to be. So I was thinking along those lines, and I was actually thinking if I could find some stories out of the Bible that would kind of help re establish that and reinforce that. But I kind of got lost in my thoughts because I ended up in Isaiah 26, which is it was just it's this is a scripture that's been going over and over in my mind lately, mostly because I have the same fight you do, right? I have peace, I'm cool, and then something happens, and it's gone. Here's a good example yesterday. Yesterday, I got up and I got online and I thought a client had taken away all of my assignments. I wasn't too worried about it on one hand because I don't really like working for them and I can make more money somewhere else, but I like the company, I like the lady who runs it, and all that. So I've kind of stuck with it and they pay. That's one big thing. They're honest and they do pay on the first or right after the first every single month. So that's nice. So you don't want to throw that away, but I thought that had been running a little bit behind and I thought they had taken all the assignments. I looked on the wrong page in the whatever app they use. And I was like, oh, and so I just caved in. I was like, oh man, I didn't handle this right. I didn't do that right. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to go find some more clients. And that's okay. I was kind of thinking about it anyway, but I just had this moment of, boy, that joy just drained out and the peace just kind of drained out. I was all upset at myself and saying things I probably shouldn't, and thinking I thoughts was just going places they shouldn't have gone just because of this one client. Look, I got lots of other clients, but that one I was upset because I didn't think I handled it right. So I prayed about it. And I was like, okay, God, just show me what to do. I literally got a message from a client I didn't know, and so because I thought I'd lost the other job, right? I took the invite, went and talked to him. He's going to pay me four times what the other client is paying me per post. Four times. Now it's going to be a little higher. It's going to be a little more involved because I'm going to have to really do some research or really get in there and dig around. But it's a topic. It's SEO. I know SEO, so it's not something I got to learn. It's not something I got to generate a bunch of whole vernacular for either. But four times. So he already paid me for the first two posts, and I haven't even done. I'm like, I don't like that. I really don't like that because I like to wait till I get done. But And so then I was like, man, so my point here is this. My emotions were everywhere. Way down here. Oh no, what am I gonna do? How did I lose this? This was so dumb. I was, and then all way up here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, $100 a post? Who does that? I thought my rates were outrageous already, and it's like over triple, over double what I charge for a post, right? And so my emotions were all up here, and then I go back into my other uh, app and realize they just moved one assignment. I still got all this other stuff I got to do this month. So I didn't lose that client either. So, and my whole point is this. Our day has all these different events, right? And they can supercharge our emotions and we're on cloud nine, or they can drain our emotions and we're down here trying to figure out what in the world went wrong and what in the world am I going to do and what in the world, oh no, right? And so our emotions can be all over the place. And this was all before noon, right? This was all before noon, right? And so it's like just kind of all over the place, and that's not bad. It's just that we have to keep coming back constantly and going, I'm going to let your peace reign. And we talked about that yesterday, and then I got to practice it, right? Just, okay, God, I'm just going to trust you. In the middle of all of that, Chris's tube got plugged. The nurse had to come twice yesterday. It was just a crazy thing, one right after another, right? And so we have those days. And most of mine are that way, it seems like. But we have those days. It doesn't mean that his peace is gone. It doesn't mean that his joy is gone. It definitely doesn't mean his righteousness is gone. His righteousness, his joy, his peace, his love, his grace, his mercy, that's the key word, is his. It's God's, not mine. I'm not, the only way I'm in charge of it is how much I let it leak into my life. How do I build a dam and just take a little tiny bit of grace at a time, a little tiny bit of mercy, a little tiny bit of joy? Or do I just remove that thing and just go, just flood me with it, God, right? And so that's all up to me. And I did. I kept going back to God, and then it just all began to work out, and it worked out perfectly. And I ended up getting quite a bit done yesterday evening, which was quite amazing too. And so we've got all of these things. We've got his righteousness. Our righteousness, there's not a light switch for righteousness. Oops, I'm righteous. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. We're righteous because it's his righteousness. We have mercy because it's God's mercy. It's not ours. We don't pull out our wallet and go, let me see if I can find some mercy in here. No, we've just got it at our disposal. And so as I was thinking about all of these things this morning, I ended up back in Isaiah 26:3. This one I grew up with. My mom quoted it. It was her kind of her life verse because of her nervous breakdown and mental illness early on in her early 20s, and God healed her from all of that. She quoted it. That was probably the first scripture she probably ever actually taught me. I will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on me, right? And so here in the New King James it says, you will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. See, if we're not trusting, our mind's going to be on what we trust on. What are we trusting? Where's our focus? What is our mind on all day? And so this has got a little bit of work. I'm sorry to you. I know it's a four-letter word. Work is a four-letter word. But we got to work to keep our mind on him. But when we do that, it's because we trust him. We're going to keep our mind on him. We're going to do the work to let his word rule in our heart. We're going to do the work to let his peace rule in our heart. We're going to do the work to walk in his grace, receive his grace, walk it out every day. When we're doing that kind of work, that's a display of our trust in him and a display of our trust in the work that he's doing in us, right? And that's what faith is all about. But I got stuck on perfect peace again today. And I'm pretty sure we talked about this one time before. I pulled it up in my little handy dandy Strong's Concordance. And perfect and peace are the exact same word in the Hebrew. In the Strong's, it's the same number. It's not like it's a number that all goes back to the same root. It's the exact same word. So he basically said, I'll keep him in peace, right? Whose mind is stayed on him. If we keep our mind on him, we're in peace. So we get double peace. No, it's not really double peace. So I looked it up and I looked all through the way it was translated and how the peace was, of course, the one. Comfort was so there were several different ways. So as I looked down through those ways, it could have been translated as finished. I will keep him in finished peace. It's done. There's never an end. It's done. God's not still doing it. We just have to learn how to let it rain, right? Or it could have been translated as complete. I will keep him in complete peace, whose mind is stayed on you. You can't forget the work part. We don't want the work part. We just want to push a button, right? Peace, we're good. Now we're good. No, but the work part, see, the reading the word and believing the word and thinking about it and writing it out and looking at it again and meditating on it, the work part, that's the part that builds our faith. That's the part that helps us build that relationship with God, helps us establish our trust in him even more, right? So we want to do the work part. It could be translated as whole peace, whole, complete, got the whole thing, right? Good peace, I like that. I'm glad it's not bad peace, right? Prosperous or healthy peace. I liked that one. Maybe because I have the health coach certification that I'm not using at all, but I will eventually. But maybe I liked that one, healthy. A healthy peace. What would that look like? A healthy peace doesn't mean these things don't come all day going, oh, you're going to lose this job, but you got a good one, but you lost this one, you got a good one, and this one's good, this is bad. All these, the tube is clogged up, call the nurse, call the doctor, do this, do that, you're right. In the middle of all of that, you've got a healthy peace that you learn how to let rain in the middle of all the stuff. Daniel had perfect peace in the lion's den. When the king came the next morning and said, Daniel, did your God save you? Daniel goes, live forever, king. No worries. God shut the mouths of the lions, right? He had perfect peace, a mature peace, a whole peace, a healthy peace right there in the lion's den. He didn't avoid the lion's den. He had to have been a little bit scared, not knowing. Is God gonna, he didn't, unless God told him, he would have wrote it down. He's the one who wrote Daniel. He would have, maybe he didn't put in there, I was really scared, but they threw me in anyway, right? And I would think there would have been a little fear as you're being thrown into a pit, not knowing, and then realizing. Can you imagine though, after that initial moment of, right? After that initial moment of, oh no, realizing the lions are just sitting there with their mouths closed. Did they come over and just kind of nuzzle him like, boy, he looks like a good chunk of meat, but I can't even eat him, right? After that initial, oh no, he had to have had perfect peace, realizing God has his hand in this. God's hand can reach the lion's den. God's hand can reach us in a pandemic. God's hand can reach us in the middle of our grief. God's hand can reach us in the middle of the storm. It's not that the storm doesn't come. It's not that the pit doesn't show up. It's not that we don't lose jobs or lose friends or lose, and have emotions. Just because our emotions are all over the place doesn't mean that we don't have that perfect peace. We just have to do the work and let it rain, right? So no matter what your situation is in your life today, if you're living in a lion's den, you're living in a jail cell, a prison of your own mind even, maybe, like Joseph, or in a boat in a storm like the disciples, you still got God's peace. Nothing's unplugged. Nothing ran out. It's still complete, whole, good, prosperous, healthy, and finished. That's why Jesus said, it's finished. I finished the work. Now, all we have to do is do the work to enjoy it and to let it rain. I hope I said something that made some sense. I enjoyed myself this morning. I hope I said something that helps you today. Have a great day, you guys. Peace out, and I'll see you tomorrow.